Nobody's
Chatty House. We ballin', boy. We going up at the Chatty House. We talk about it all, bring the family out. Sub to the channel, hit the lights now. And we only going up when the lights down. Yeah, we just getting started. Ain't no party like a Chatty House party. We just getting started. Ain't no party like a Chatty House party.
What up? What up? The crew is back in the house. Katrina even showed back up. Thought she was gonna like branch off into her own show. So, so we good. We good. Katrina, Karen, and Dr. David in the house. Chatty House after party. We got a game going on. I don't even know the score. I've been running around crazy.
Oh.
So
Okay, we're good.
102.80.
102.80. I
So,
got 102.80. That's what you guys got.
That's what I got.
yep, up 22.
I'm trying to
so
sync up.
we got 7 minutes to go. That's cool. I saw Keegan was having quite a game, so it's always good to get that 1 out of every 10 games out of him.
Yeah, we're turning the ball over early, but they settled down a bit. They should beat the Jazz.
This is the last easy game we got for the rest of the season, right?
Pretty much. Sabo. Oh man.
Is Katrina at Denny's? That's hilarious.
Huh?
Oh, she got the shoe collection behind her. Looks like my son's room.
Yeah.
I just saw that. Damn. Okay, girl. Okay. Okay.
How was that at Denny's?
No
Oh,
idea.
because it looks like the glass wall. You know how they have the like
Oh.
the glass wall when you're waiting to go into the main room, and you're just sitting
They
waiting
don't
to
got
get
the
seated.
shoes in there though. Last time I checked, they don't got those shoes there.
That would be a great Denny's. That's probably the Denny's that's inside of Nike, the headquarters, which is where Donnie is working now. So that's pretty
I
dope.
saw that, man. That was cool.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. So he had to like hurry and literally find somewhere to live out there because they won't let him work remote the whole time. So I think they let him work remote for like a couple weeks, and then after that he has to be like going to the actual headquarters every day. So good luck to him, man. Man, that's dope. For those that don't know, if you haven't seen, if you get a chance later, go check out the Playoff Kingdom that Chewy has. Earlier today at around 5, got to interview Scott Pollard, and I jumped on there with him too and got to talk to the man. And very humble dude, very cool. This dude literally, when he said, so I had asked him like, hey, like, do you miss the game? Do you miss playing? Do you miss, do you like miss? He said he gave everything he had to basketball. So when there was time to stop playing, he hasn't touched the basketball since, because his body's broken down too, like it's like bad knees and all that. But he literally, until today, watching that first quarter of the Kings game, had not watched a day of basketball, a pro ball, NBA ball. Like I literally at the end was like, hey, can you say light the beam real quick? And he's like, what's that? Like he really has not kept up with pro basketball at all. He said he watches college a bit, and he likes watching Kansas, obviously, but he has not watched a game of pro basketball. So it was like his first experience. He's not a fan of that game, but he's also the old man, right? Like the change of like being big man bruisers, obviously in his time, to more of the, guard oriented than it is now, and not as, you don't see as many centers banging down low like Sabonis and that. So that was interesting. It was a good talk, and talked about his donor and all that. So again, if you guys don't get it, I highly recommend you go back, and when Chewy reposts it, go back and check it out. Really cool dude, and a great story about him getting that heart transplant. So
How without, I know you want us to go check it out, but how is his health doing right now? Like, is he doing all right, or is it like giving him any complications or anything like that?
Yeah, no, he's good right now. He said at first, obviously, it was cardio, like trying to be able to, he could only walk a couple steps without breathing hard, and stuff like that. But he's like right now he feels really good, and his recovery's going really well. So yeah, he's out in Indiana now. He lives out in Indiana, so he's talking about there's certain hospitals like when you go to be a donor, like it's kind of interesting. You say like you don't want to register at hospitals within the same region because you're kind of going against yourself. Where like you want to do like Vanderbilt. He was saying Vanderbilt has like a great hospital where I think it was Vanderbilt, had a great hospital where they actually broke the Guinness Book of World Records last year of how many heart transplants they did. And then he had registered in Chicago. There's a great hospital there that he had registered at. So yeah, so no, it's like I said, man, it's great story. Good to see him doing his thing, and yeah, so it was good,
I always
man.
wondered about that, man, because especially somebody like him, like I'm sure he didn't go into like great detail, but for somebody that big, I just wonder like if you could just take as long as there's a blood match, like could you take any
No.
heart, like or does it have to be somebody of
So it has to be somebody of equal size.
wow.
So that's the thing is
Oh,
that
wow.
he did talk about that. Like his dad died because his dad was like, I think he said somewhere between 360 and 380 pounds when his dad was diagnosed back in the day. And doctors had told him like, hey man, I would get all your stuff in order because it's going to be hard to find somebody that'll be able to be your donor. So it's the same. Like it has to be of almost equal size of you for you to be able to get that donor. So yeah, that is actually a requirement.
Wow. Somebody who's 6'10", 6'11", and upwards of 300 pounds, that has to be, I mean,
That's hard.
extremely lucky for him to get a
Yeah.
donor for that.
Yeah. So I won't talk all about it because there's
Yeah,
some good stuff in there about. It's a good story about the donor himself, like his name and where he was from, which is just like one of those like perfect fate things. And I'll go watch it, find out for yourself. It's a great story. There's some great questions in there, and yeah, he was a great dude, man. Like he doesn't like cereal, so I do have some beef with him, but I'm gonna
Wow.
let it slide, man. I'm gonna let it slide.
he could eat some raisin bran or some shredded wheat. That's good for the heart, man.
He said he only keeps around. Huh?
Nothing?
No, he
No
thinks
cereal.
he thinks cereal is the death of mankind, basically. um, yeah, he's like, yeah. So anyway, so it hurt my
That
heart.
conversation.
While he had a new heart, my heart was in pain. So, but it's okay, Scott. I love you, man. It's you're a great dude. So I'm just gonna pretend like I didn't even hear that part of the story. It's gonna be like Men in Black. Just hit that light, and we'll forget that part, man. It's cool. It's cool.
That's the second worst take I've heard about cereal in my life, dude.
Yeah. He says he only keeps around the worst cereal ever.
Second worst.
No, what's the
Second
cereal?
worst.
Shredded wheat,
Worst.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the worst?
What's the
grape
worst?
nuts.
Yeah,
No.
grape nuts. He keeps around grape nuts. He'll eat it once in a while because it has some decent stuff in it. But anyway, so right now it's 1:12:93. 3 minutes to go. It's pretty much a done deal. We already know. So
Is it though?
who has been watching it like religiously today? Because I didn't get to see everything. Watch some of it, but no.
I only watched the first half because I have to stream it because obviously I live in Napa, so it's the Warriors territory over here. So I gotta find other means.
You should try the playback, man. I don't know if you can get playback or not, but
Ooh.
they're always streaming. That's one thing I like about playback is like all the playback channels are like the Boston, like any game you want to watch, somebody has it on because they all use League Pass, and it's like first come first serve on VIP passes. So yeah, first half was kind of a struggle. It was kind of back and forth. It wasn't like I said. There was a bunch of turnovers. They looked kind of sluggish. Sabonis was struggling. I don't know how he's done in this second half, but I know I think that's something that we could start talking about. Sabonis, like I think what's been lost in this whole thing since the All-Star game or right before is like he's struggled scoring. Like whether it's him being hesitant and trying to get everybody in, or it's just the way the ball's been working around, right? Like I think it's a combination of different things, but his numbers have definitely dipped on the offensive side of it. And I said it today when I called D'Lo Casey today. I'm kind of wondering where his mentals are, like in general. Like if this season were to collapse, if this season were not to be successful at all, like he's a real quiet person. He's not going to come out on like demand trades and do stuff like that. But as we found out, behind the scenes, he does kind of tell them how he feels about certain things, right? Like we found out how he really felt about Mike Brown. So I'm wondering, like, if it's behind the scenes after the season, if he's either talks to his wife and decides, is this where we really want to be as far as team wise, and what do we do? Where do we go from here? Because I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know. Katrina saw something funny though. She's giggling over there.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
It's true though. It's true.
I looked across too. God damn it.
Anyway.
Anyways.
No, man,
What do you think, Dr. David?
It's something I wonder too, because when they made these trades, and like I said, I believe they're hard capped going into next season. There's only so much they can do, and I mean, as much as we complain about roster imbalance and things like that, I don't even really mind the players that we got, but it's like, what is your plan going forward? I mean, this was it. To sign DeMar, to get Levine, all these guys making this kind of money. I mean, this is your roster, unless they start, trading some of those pieces that they just acquired. I mean, I don't see them doing anything that much different next year. So, I mean, who knows? Domas might see that and say, man, I'm not going anywhere. Like you said, man, it was quiet in the beginning, but it sounds like he was one of the guys that wasn't too happy with Mike Brown and wasn't too upset to see him leave. So, I mean, we'll see what happens if they could make a good playoff run to maybe satisfy him and DeMar. But I mean, I honestly wouldn't blame these guys if it falls apart in these next couple of weeks. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, do you see any kind of plan moving forward? I mean, I have no idea.
I don't think they even had a plan. I think they're just they're playing it by ear the entire time. Like everything they do is sort of knee-jerk reaction. Just, we're going to do something just to do something. I don't think there's an actual plan. And I wonder if they're worried about their own, as far as the GM and whatnot. I wonder if they're worried about their status with the team next year. How much is this talk about? Okay. How much does this talk about them being fired? Your comment just threw me off.
Bye.
I know.
Your comment threw me off.
Bye, Matt George Jr. Bye.
Oh no,
Tasha, that text is 100% true, though. You can go look it up. It's 100% true.
That's great. I'm good. I'll wait. Save that for later.
I wonder if they're making actual moves or for the future, if they're just doing what they can. Like they're just making a move just to make a move. And that's what it feels like more than anything, that they're just making a move just to do something, just to feel like they're actually working.
Katrina? Katrina?
I don't know. Yes. Yes. Hello. I'm still pretty optimistic. I don't know what's going on with Sabonis. I mean, he finished with 12 points, but he doesn't quite seem like himself. Egan had a good game. Yeah.
No, we
Kings
did.
won.
I mean, and I think that's the main thing, right? Is winning cures all.
Yeah.
But it's got to be long term. Like I think somebody like Sabonis, if you're winning long term, and let's say you get past the first round or whatever, like he's fine. That's all he cares about at this point. He's not gonna. I'm not worried about him mentally being like, "Where's the rock for me?" Where he's a team player through and through. But that's the thing; it's got to be winning, because if you're not winning, then I do think, as any normal human, is going to be like, dude, what are we doing, man? Like, if I'm going to sacrifice, it better be for a greater good, not for anything else. Like, you know. So, how many rebounds did he have today? Did they show yet? I didn't see that.
Bonus?
Sabonis.
Yeah.
9.
I end up with 9.
So that's even like,
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't at least get double digits. Okay.
Yeah.
It's usually, they don't really
But
have
I mean,
any big
that's
men.
been kind of the pattern the last 3
Yeah.
games.
So that's the thing. It's like, and you basically threw this team together, and are hoping for the best. Basically, you're just like throwing stuff and hoping everything sticks to the wall. That's literally what it looks like right now. Like I said it earlier in when the playback discussion was like, I think uh, I think when Doug had that meeting with the starters, and again, I'm just guessing that it was basically like, look, man, like y'all have a certain amount of time to get your shit together. Like, and if you're not successful, then I'm gonna have to make a move, and somebody's gonna be unhappy in the starting lineup. Guys, do what you got to do. Like, I'm gonna give you this little, window, but if it doesn't come together, like somebody's gonna not be happy, and it is what it is. Like, so figure it out. And since then, I mean, it's only been 2 games, but like, I think obviously they've beat who they've needed to beat right now, other than what happened on Friday, which was a shambles. But here comes the stretch, though. Here comes that brutal stretch that's going to determine everything. So I am curious to see how long it takes for Doug to pull the plug, like where he has to make that change. But I'm assuming he's going to give it a couple games, at least a couple games in the next, couple games that come up. So, does anybody have? If you had to make a decision, if that unfortunately happens and you move Keon into the starting lineup, well, first of all, do you guys think Keon should be in the starting lineup right now? Go around the horn. Chiron?
I'd say, oh, go ahead, Karin.
God. I mean, the question is, should he be in the starting lineup? And I don't know if he should. I mean, what has he done to really deserve to be in the starting lineup? If that's what we're talking about, like, I like what he does because he can take over for Levine or Monk right now, depending on who's hot, who's not. So I like the idea that you can sort of switch the 3 of those players right now. I do think he should be finishing the games, definitely, especially for his defensive purposes. I don't know about starting right now. I just don't think he has enough for us to move one of Monk or Levine out of that role.
I'd say start him if somebody else is willing to go to the bench. I mean, I don't know what those guys' egos are like. I mean, Malik, he sounds like he's always wanted to be a starter. I mean, if you're going to take somebody out,
it's going to be Malik.
I mean, it's got to be Malik because I don't think you go small because I know Katrina disagrees, but I mean, you take Levine or you take DeMar or Keegan out, and I mean, that's a small lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, what else is left to do?
Yeah.
Katrina? Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead.
No, I like Keon off the bench. Malik, you can't make him a starter and then send him back to the bench. That's not happening. Plus, I got a date with Malik next Thursday. Did I not say I was getting tickets to that? Yep.
What's that?
Yep. The meet and greet.
Oh, okay.
But I like how she said, I got a date with him. Like, this was just the 2 of them in a restaurant or something.
You can't bench him if he's going to have a meet and greet.
Yeah. Shout out Michigan for his meet and greets every Sunday.
That's a whole different.
Yeah, it is a different meet and greet for sure.
Whoa.
It's a very compromising meet and greet from what I hear. But I don't think Malik, for me, it's not Malik. It would have to be, I mean, and I know it sounds crazy just number wise and what he's done and saved games, but I think just odd man out it would be DeRozan. But again, it's like it's fragile egos, man. You just don't know the ripple effects of stuff like that. But I do think if you're on a 3-4 game losing streak, like you don't have any room to be like pouting. If it becomes something like that, it's like, bro, we're trying to save the season here. And I will say, if Doug does something like that, whether it works or doesn't, I got mad respect for him for even being able to do it and just saying, "Hey, man, I'm the coach." For me, something like that, even if it ends up flopping, you're my coach next year, just for the simple fact that you're showing leadership and you're doing whatever it takes to get stuff done. So,
it looks like he's bringing them in quicker, though. You know,
yeah,
I mean, like he, after the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, boom, he's putting Keon and who went in with him today? I didn't see. It looks like he's going to the bench a little bit sooner so that he can stagger that rotation.
Yeah. And I like Markel too, man. I think, unfortunately, I'm also like he's probably auditioning for something else after the season, which sucks. Because I would love to see him long term be the backup, but he might even have an offer somewhere to like start for whether it's a decent team or even if it's not, like there's money out there. If he plays decently here, obviously there's money out there. That
I don't know. Is there really going to be a big demand for Fultz? I mean, he was a free agent that we just picked up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if they play well, let's say they play well, get into the playoffs, and he seems to be, he increasingly gets better at his role. Like I do think that in some ways, like it spotlights him, and maybe somebody out there does see him as better value, right? Because he was basically rehabbing from an injury and trying to get back into it. So just like Jake, like every time I see Jake playing, I'm like, oh, we ain't gonna have no problems re-signing you, bro. He's basically and I like him. I think there is talent there, but he's a project. Like it's it's one of those things like Kessler and them when they had him. It's like if he develops, cool, but I don't think you're gonna have to worry about anybody outmatching you for the minimum. So we'll see what happens with him too. But
this, like you were saying, Manny, this stretch is gonna tell us everything, though. I mean, if you can pick up some wins against some tough teams, and I mean, that's kind of like what who was it, Ham was talking about. That you have to build that cushion up and beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. That loss to New Orleans was tough. Yeah. Getting blown out by Golden State. Not that we were supposed to be Golden State, but
not like that.
Not like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, not like that.
You win against against New Orleans, and then you got a 4-game, 5-game cushion going into this stretch right here. And I don't know, man. It's like I think Kenny and D'Lo were talking about today. I mean, the ceiling I see. I mean, I honestly I don't see him getting to 6th. So I think the highest they can get is 8th.
Do we see them dropping out of 10th though? Because Phoenix has been falling out, but the Trailblazers have playing really good recently. So that there seems like there could be a possibility it could fall out, or no?
I don't think they'll fall out of the 10th.
Okay.
But again, what from this team has given us any kind of confidence that they're just going to go on a run.
And let's give the Pelicans some respect. They just beat the Spurs, I think twice in a row. So we got to give them some respect for that, right?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. No, but you're right. Like this, I think they're going to cover. I think this is going to be I think it literally is going to be a roller coaster. I think they're going to see like 2-3 game winning streaks, then 2-3 game losing. Like I think it's just going to be a fight.
A roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster.
Well, it's about to be Disney World because it's about to be every roller coaster all in one. Like I don't think that roller coaster is going to stop. I really do think it's going to be a game of streaks, and hopefully, when there's winning streaks, there's losing streaks somewhere else, and then when we got losing streaks, everybody else is losing too, so that we don't lose too much. It's like everything's like 2 or 3 games either way. Like you go on a 2-game losing streak, you go from where are they now? Where at 7 or 8? Where are they at right now?
I think they're still at 9, aren't they?
Oh, are they? Oh, shit.
They're at 10th.
Are they at 10?
They're at 10.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought we were higher than that.
They're half a game behind the Mavericks right now.
It's close.
Yeah, but like a couple game winning streak, and they're like they could be 8 real quick too, right? Like
yeah.
they could 2 games. So that's the thing. Everything is just so jumbled that it's gonna be whoever goes on that losing streak at some point. It's gonna be a wrap for that team. So,
great.
Yeah,
it's in the West.
going, not to beat a dead horse, beating animals over here, but
Who is
Say,
beating dead horses? Why is
hopefully
that?
PETA is not watching. PETA, not us, PETA.
But the trades that Monty made, and kind of not finalizing the roster, but going with the moves that he made, these were your all-in moves. There's really nothing else to do. It's where the Kings are probably going to lose their pick this year, which is good or bad depending on how you look at it. But that doesn't allow you to do anything in the offseason. You don't have that trade chip to attach to a contract. So, I mean, this is it. We're always joking around, they're just going to run it back. Monty's not going to do anything. But, I mean, they're going to run it back if they don't trade one of their quote-unquote core pieces. So, talking about the roller coaster that the season's been and that, we're going to finish off with, I mean, this team is what it is. It's a little bit better than 500 team. And, I mean, do you guys really think that they have it in them to go on a run and finish, 6-7 games over 500?
I hope, I wish, and I hope, but I don't. It's hard for me to say. I can't say I'm confident in it at all. I wouldn't bet no money on it. That's for sure. So I don't know. That's
Nothing they've shown this season has showed us that they can do that. Outside of that 1-7 game win streak, I mean, you're basically saying we need one, maybe two more of that somehow.
Okay.
Do
it.
All right.
I still think this team is too good to be where they're at with the record they have.
What gives you that confidence, though?
Like, what do you mean too good? Explain what you mean by too good. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Damn.
Here comes Tasha.
I felt that from the beginning of the season, though, that this squad was too good to have the record they've had. Like, they've had all these, shut up. They've had all these losses games that they shouldn't have lost. See, here we are, the games where shut up, where they lost by like 2 points, right? Like, if they hadn't have, shut up.
Who are you talking to? Nobody said that.
I see you. I see the chat. Yeah. No, all those games that they lost by 2 points, and we're like, oh, we're going to feel that later on in the season. Here we are. If they hadn't have lost those 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm not going to say it again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games by single digits that they shouldn't have lost, they'd be in what? 5th, 6th?
Yeah.
3rd? Yeah.
Yeah, 5th, 6th, somewhere around there.
I'm not getting talent-wise. Like, I don't argue with what you're talking about talent-wise, but, like, again, like, just kind of threw it together and hoped everything would stick on the wall, and it hasn't. Like, there's so many, like, redundancies, and I mean, I really do feel like at the end of the year, you can't trade Zach because his contract is untradeable for the most part. I think once you got him, you knew you were committed to him regardless. So there's only one left because you're not going to trade Sabonis, you're not going to trade Monk. There's only one player left that you can get rid of, and that's DeRozan. Like, and I had heard that him and I don't believe this now, but I had heard, and obviously that tells you everything about Twitter and everything, but that him and Zach didn't get along that well, but obviously they do. You could see the friendship there. You could see all the dynamics and all that. So I also wonder how that affects them. Like, let's say they do trade DeRozan. Like, how does that make Zach feel? Zach is now getting his first experience of being part of this chaotic organization. And you know, it's funny because I don't know if this is true or not. And Chewy said he had a discussion with Pollard about, you know, would you ever come back? Pollard does not like Vivek. Like he does not like ownership. It's just one of the reasons he hasn't come back and done anything. But he has friends in the organization, right? Peja and everybody that's played for them, whatever. But like, I wonder when he said that, it kind of made me think about how do these guys really think about Vivek? Like, what is Sabonis' real feeling about him? What's all these? Because it's a dysfunctional organization, and like they're experiencing this up close, right? Like, so it's like I really wonder like how all these guys feel like behind closed doors around their family. Like, how do they talk about ownership? Like, yeah, they pay him, cool, but and they're never gonna say anything out loud, but I wonder what they really think about that. So like, I don't know, man. Like, I always think about DeMar, like how happy he was, and remember when Vivek did the whole "not like us" and like DeMar kind of laughed, but it was kind of like a cringe laugh too. Like, all right,
They are nothing like us.
yeah, they are nothing like us. Like, yeah, you're
But
right.
I mean, again, Manny, to your point, let's say the only person that you could potentially trade or do something with is DeMar. How bad does that look? The guy who actually wanted to be here signed with you. I mean, pretty much it was a, what is it, sign and trade or whatever. He's all happy to be here, and then it's all right. Well, we suck. Let's get rid of you.
I don't believe this to 100% either. Like, I get it, man. They all get paid and they cash checks, but to say that that's all they care about, like, I'm not with that on every player. Yes, there's players that just pay just for the money. We know that it's millions of dollars, but I mean, there's guys that love the game too, but it's your boss. Like what are you gonna say? There's nothing you're gonna say to like change ownership. It's not like it's a general manager or a coach. Like it's the dude that actually owns the team. Like,
Well, they got to shake up that front office some kind of way. Because, like I'm saying, Wes and Monty aren't. It looks like they're not working together as well as they could be or should be, or if they even can. Sounds like there's some kind of not turmoil there, but I mean, obviously there's competing ideas when it comes to draft, when it comes to trades. I think Ham made a comment the other day when I think I made a comment in the chat, like, I don't see any kind of plan moving forward, like what's going on. And Ham was like, well, Monty, I guess, had some things he wanted to do and was overruled, or, there was a bunch of different ideas and nobody, kind of is the voice of authority in there is what it sounded like. So, like who's in charge? Who's making the decision? Is it Monty? Monty bears the brunt of it. Is it all him? Is it Wes? Is it Vivek? Until they get that sorted out, we're just going to get more of the same every year.
try again, Karen.
Thank you.
No.
When's the last time we've heard from Wes? Like,
when's the last time we heard from Vivek?
well, I mean, but Vivek's not the front-facing person we need to be hearing from. He's not the one making decisions. It's Wes and it's Monty. We hear from Monty all the time now.
Do
When are
we?
we going to hear from? Well, okay, not all the time, but he's the one we hear from the most. But when's the last time we've heard from Wes about anything?
He's never really spoke though. Even back, like he's always been kind of like the silent partner in everything. I feel like even when things were going good, you didn't really hear from Wes. Like it was always Monty was. I almost said a name. Monty was Aunt Jemima. Like it's just a face on the bottle, and I mean this is what it is, right? Does she own the syrup? No. Should they even show her? No. Especially not the way they had her for a long time, but like Wes has always been behind the back, and that's what I say. Like I always feel like they're gonna fire one of them to make everybody think like, oh, it's a new direction, or like, oh, they're. But in reality, both of them have been in cahoots since day one. But it's just one person's gonna take the fall, and he's gonna leave the other person to do the same thing again. Yep. Like, and you're like, bro, how stupid do you think the fans are? Well, some of the fans, but I mean, Jesus, man. Dysfunction. It's a dysfunctional organization that has continuously been tripping over their own feet for over a decade.
Well, then, and the other thing too is, speaking of personnel, Keegan's going to be due his extension, and are we sure? He doesn't say, well, looks like I'm not none of this is benefiting me. I'm not growing or anything like that. Can you trade me? Would you guys do that?
That's a good point, man. Like, again, another player kind of like Sabonis that's just kind of never really says anything, but you got to wonder how the wheels are turning and is this situation beneficial to him anymore? Like, his best friend's gone, so I mean, no more babysitting dudes. I can't. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I wonder how much that affects Keegan with De'Aaron being gone, because that was huge. That was his best friend. So no more Uncle Keegs.
No second job babysitting. Like, bro, it's now what?
He's gonna have his own. He's getting married soon.
That's true.
Congrats to Keegan.
Congratulations.
Congrats, Keegan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now play like you did tonight every night.
We played good tonight, so that's great to see.
Yeah.
But he always does that,
really
man.
good.
He has those crazy 20-plus point performances, and then it's like back down to earth for 2-3 games or whatever it is. It's like, bro.
Everybody on the team is, though. That was like my biggest fear after they beat the crap out of the and who they just play?
Charlotte.
Mm-hmm. Beating the living crap out of them and shooting the ball the way they did. Yeah, I swear, like there's in the back of my mind, I thought they were just going to brick everything in Utah and lose this game.
Didn't we say this is going to be a positive show? What happened to that?
Right?
That's what I'm here for.
Right.
Truth.
Like we just won. The
Kings won and won by 17.
They did.
Positive vibes. What do you want to talk about this week? Positive vibes. Thank you.
Okay. They didn't win by 25.
Damn.
You right. They're awesome. They're great.
Greatest
Sky's
team.
the limit.
Well, I guess on a positive note, that maybe they found a little bit of rhythm and going into this stretch, and we'll see. I mean, LaVine. I mean, when they got out and ran, I mean that's one of the things LaVine can do too.
Yeah.
Their alley-oops, their lobs today weren't it, but
well, he got LaVine on that. Who was that threw LaVine the one from like across the whole court? Was that DeMar or was that?
I think it was Monk.
It was Monk. I thought it was Monk. I didn't see it right, but I saw the end of it and I was like, oh damn! But that shows like how athletic he is when he's playing. Like when he's aggressive and he's taking control. Like as many faults as he might have and things, but it's more good than bad with LaVine when he's not thinking. When he's starting to think and trying to like make things happen, that's when he gets into turnover prone and throwing bad passes or taking bad shots because he's waiting to the end. But when he's aggressive like that, where he's not hesitating on threes, does a little step back, aggressively goes to the hole, like you usually get good results from him, especially this year. He looked a lot more the last 2 games like the way he was in Chicago this first half of the season. And that's good because I do think he is a legitimate – people are going to argue this, but I do think when he's playing like that, he's a legitimate one option. Absolutely a legitimate one option. So
that's a score, yeah. He one of the things
y'all need to stop reading all that crap, man.
One of the things that I was looking at today, though, LaVine, he struggles in rotation sometimes, but as an on-ball defender, he's not that bad of an on-ball defender. Like, I mean, he stays in front of his guy. If somebody tries to drive on him, he can stay in front and cut his man off. But when he struggles is just rotating on the 3-point line, which everybody on the Kings struggles with. But what is that?
That's not me.
It's not me either.
I'm not saying nothing.
Does Katrina have a soundboard?
Katrina, I told you I got craziness. I told you.
Nice.
I told you.
A little bit of craziness.
Gold.
I haven't been drinking today. Only they have.
But yeah, I do think on-ball, like he's obviously athletic as all hell. But when he wants to, he can definitely play both sides of the ball. Obviously, he's shown over a couple of years that that's exactly what it is. It's when he wants to, right? And I think he does He has problems sometimes in the switches. That's where he gets caught up in his the switches on the picks and rolls and finding his spots and not leaving a man. Uh, but when he's in front of his man, there's not too many people that are going to be able to drive by him. He's got the enough lateral quickness to be able to play decently defensively. So, but again, like if he can stay looking like he had the last two games, hopefully it's not a Trista thing where it's just I forgot what she called it, but basically garbage like against garbage teams is the only time he comes and plays. I don't agree with that at all. I think he's shown over the years he can play with the best of them when he wants to, but it's nice to see him getting comfortable. But it's unfortunate. One person's comfortability leads to some other people looking uncomfortable too, right? It's a time thing, and hopefully there is enough time. We've talked about this, where how much time do they have left to get it together? It's a very short, you know. There's only so many games left in the season, and man, you can only lose so many games. So I don't know, but like I said, let's be positive. They've blown out the last two teams like they were supposed to, right? They did what they were supposed to, and like let's be honest. Even the best teams we've seen this year, like we saw OKC blow a 28-point lead to Minnesota. So it happens in this current NBA climate. Like it just does. Happens to everybody. So kudos to them for
some of these teams, like Kenny was saying, aren't just unbeatable.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Kings could get Houston. I think they could beat. They could pull out a win against Denver. The East teams are the ones that they'll struggle against. Like even though Kings did beat Boston, I mean, I really don't see them doing something like that again. They struggle against the Knicks, teams like that. But I mean, I don't think there's anybody that if they're playing at their best, they can't beat. It's just, like we always say, the consistency hasn't been there.
Yeah, but the next couple of weeks, we got Dallas coming up. We got San Antonio. We got the Clippers, and we got Golden State. But those are Dallas, Clippers, Golden State. Those are teams right above us in the standings. So those are the ones we really need to be making sure we're getting those wins to make them get those losses also. Because we're only 2 losses behind the Clippers in 6th place.
Right.
So we got to keep that pressure on them if we have any chance,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Again, it's like I think they can do it, but I'm not gonna sit here and like put all my faith into it. Like they just disappointed one too many times where it's like, all right, bro, like nah. I'll get excited at the end of the year. Like I'll get excited at the end of the year. Unless you go up on like a 10-game winning streak, then I'll start doing my Frank the Tank. But until then, like I'm not doing it, man. Like
well, believe it or not, a thing that could both help and hurt them at the same time is Golden State.
Yeah.
Because if Golden State beats the teams that they're capable of beating it, and it's the same teams that the Kings have to play. I mean, it's as they ascend, maybe some of these other teams come down. Because Golden State's playing good right now, and they're going to get Kuminga back. I mean, we'll see how that ends up going, or if they kind of hit a rough stretch too. But right now they're playing good. So
wouldn't it be great if we met them in the play-in? Like that was our first match.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that would be so great. So great.
I'm all in on stuff like that. I love that stuff.
Sign me up.
I love that stuff. Like, yo, bring me, if there's anybody's team that I want to beat, it's them. Like I want to send them packing. That's who I want to send packing. I'll take my chances. Let's go.
2 years in a row.
Yeah.
I like it. Like, man, come to play, bro. Like, no fear. Like, let's go. Like, I love Jimmy, but F you, Jimmy. Like, as long as you got Buddy, you can always lose. You can always lose as long as you got Buddy.
That's true. That's true.
If the Kings make it to the play-in, somehow get to like that first round of the playoffs, and let's say we go up against OKC, and we just lose, we get swept 4 games. Is this a successful season to you guys?
I think anytime you do something like that, sweep is a hard pill to digest. Like if you lose 4-1, I'm good with that. Not to say I'm good with it, but look, man, you played the number 1 seed. You weren't favored. Come on, but you got one, right? Like getting swept, especially if you get blown out in sweeps like that, it just depends on how it just depends. For me, it just depends. But I think if you get to that first round, that is a success for them, especially with all the turmoil and everything. Like, I think it's success and you can build off of it.
I think it makes the case for Doug to become that full-time head coach. I mean, if they make the playoffs, they win their playing game, make the playoffs. I think that's about as good as an end to a season that you can have. Not ending in the place, but I mean getting to that point. Yeah, I mean we all thought that they would be better, but I mean the goal was to make the playoffs, right?
It is.
Yeah.
And not the play in, like they said, like D'Lo said, not the play in. You got to make the playoffs, or it's a disaster, and you're gonna have to. I don't subscribe to the blowing up part, like as far as everybody,
Yeah.
but you definitely need to make big moves. You definitely gotta clear again. To me, it's Demar. Like no matter what, it's always gonna come back to Demar because it's the one movable piece that you got. So
Sorry, Demar.
yeah,
Is
not bad.
is Keegan due his contract this year or next year?
Next year, I
Next
think.
year.
Oh, it's next year. Okay,
Yeah, he's still got one left. Yeah. They're gonna pick up they already picked up the option, right?
I think they
Is that what
did.
they did? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's after next year, and then that's when he can quote unquote get the max or whatever it is that it is, and he ain't getting that right now. I'll tell you that. But and I feel bad again, man. Like I can't. It is so hard for me to sit here and tell you because it's so hard for me here to sit here and tell you where the disconnect is. Like, is it just well, he's just not who we thought he was going to be? Or is it everything that's been going on and his roles changing and all that? How much of that is why he is who he is today? You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's been so many different things that have happened while he was here or while he's been here that I can't just sit and point at one thing and say, oh, that's why he hasn't become what we thought he was going to be. Or maybe we just maybe that first year was just, it's not like it'd be the first person in history to have a great first year and then not be what you thought. Like it happens, man. Like I just don't know if that's what it is. Like, or if it's just, again, like I said, the change of roles and the change of the teams and what they expected out of him and what they're asking him to do. Like, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on Keegan at this point? Like, he's at a crossroads, obviously.
I think when, after that first season, everybody thought, this guy, he has the chance to be a star or, maybe just on that right under that all-star level. I don't think he's anywhere close to that. Or from what I've seen, I don't think he develops into that. I think he's going to be one of those, people don't like to say it, but I think he's going to be one of those Harrison Barnes type players. He's going to get his 15 to 16 points a game. Is that something you said, Kyron, a bunch of times?
I said that on the show, like in the first few episodes. I said he looks like just Harrison Barnes, which is just a better shot. And everyone's like, no, he's gonna play, he's gonna be a star. I was like, no, he looks like he has a demeanor, he has that play style that is just a third player, fourth player, depending on the team, max, but he's never gonna be a star. And he's a fine plug and play character, but he's not somebody that we can build a team around, unfortunately. And he doesn't fit anywhere in this team.
Yeah.
So are we calling him number 13 now?
No, because he's consistent though. He's
Not there yet.
consistent, but he just doesn't. He's not aggressive enough to be a good player. Like he's consistent, but he's just not aggressive enough.
Yeah.
I've never seen. There's no or very few far in between of a star player, any player that's become a star player without being at least semi-aggressive, and he's not even that.
Yeah.
So there's no way you're ever going to get you. He's never going to maximize his potential, and there's nothing wrong. Not there is or isn't wrong with it, but like that's just his personality. It's not in him to be that ultra aggressive.
But I think the problem is because he was drafted so high. Everybody had so much expectations for him. And I'm not saying he was the number one pick, but he was what, 4 or 5 pick?
Fourth.
You expected borderline all-star once or twice in this year, and right now we don't see that.
Yep.
And that's the sad part about it. It's like if he was pick 13 and he was playing just like this, everybody be fine with that. You're like, okay, this is what we expected, that pick. But when you pick somebody that high, you expect somebody that can take over a game at least once in a while. And we just don't get that from him ever.
Yeah, to me, anybody in the top 6, especially, like, you were drafted to be a superstar. Like, you just were, and like whether it's valid or isn't, or fair or not fair, it's just the truth. Top 10, really, but especially that top 5 or 6 to me is like you're supposed to be an all star by the time you get to that next contract, and it just and especially when you have a first year like he did, he set the bar so high at that point because everybody saw that list of the can't miss 3-point shooting. Like, oh, if you just add this, if you just do this, like he's gonna be, and it's like, nah, it's not, and that's okay too. Like, it doesn't. It's not totally your fault. Like, I get all the little things I talked about. Like, that all combines to get what you got right now. And I wonder, like we were saying earlier, Katrina, like maybe all that mentally too. Like, I can't imagine him being in a good space sometimes. So it might be at some point where even his agent tells him, like, "Hey, bro, let's get you somewhere where you can start fresh, man. Like, maybe you'll have a better chance of with less expectations and just I don't know. Like, I wonder sometimes those conversations and if they're had or not."
But that must have been a lot for him to have Mike Brown fired and then De'Aaron traded in a month. Not even a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a kid, man. Too, like, people forget, man. Like, yes, he's what is he? 22, 23?
24.
Okay, 24. But still, that's I know we as way like older than that. I won't say way older because then it makes us all sound old. I know I'm old, but that is
Yeah,
we're still.
you're a little older than some of us.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Um, but it is, man. You're still at 23, 24, man. You're still a baby, bro. Like, you really are mentally still learning life, like still trying to figure out what you want, who you
Yeah.
are. Like, it's no different than it's no different for him. So, yeah, man. Like, I don't know,
Yeah,
it's
just
crazy.
hearing the conversation between him and De'Aaron, like the questions he was asking, like, what is this like? Because De'Aaron had been around having a coach fired multiple times. And so this was like his first time, and he was just like kind of
Well,
shocked by it all.
so much has been asked of Keegan too. I mean, look at the physical changes he's had to go through. Okay, dude, we want you to bulk up so you can guard power forwards. Oh man, we want you to slim down so you could be a small forward. Oh, we want you to handle the ball. Oh, we want you to guard the perimeter. No, now go guard the post. Hey, be our second leading scorer. It's like, man, they haven't done him any favors, but to Kyron's point, I think I think he could be a better Harrison Barnes, but I think that's kind of where his niche is going to be. He's going to be that third, fourth player, and he's going to be in the league for about 16 years, as long as he wants to be in the league, making good money. But I just don't see him being a leader for this team. And if he's not that, okay, fine. Are we going to keep him for a really high paid fourth, fifth, sixth option on offense? I know we love his defense, but I mean, that's not how you can maintain a roster either. You got Levine, you got DeMar, you got Domas making max money. And then you're gonna have to pay Keegan. And it kind of sounds funny, but isn't Ellis on the second year of his deal, or is it still the first year?
He's got a team option after this year.
Okay, he has a team option. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to make a lot of money, but I think Keon's played himself into a good $8, $9, $10 million.
Mm-hmm. Easily, especially in this going rate nowadays. Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, I'd like to keep Keegan around, but again, as the roster is currently constructed, unless, like Manny says, that unfortunately DeMar, I mean,
gotta go.
You're not going to give Keegan max money, and Vivek, he's not paying no luxury tax.
It always comes back down to DeMar, doesn't it?
It does, unfortunately.
And he's such a good player that he just takes up so much of what the team could do. It's frustrating.
It is, but they're the ones that constructed it. Like, hey, they basically set it up for this. Like, either it's boom or bust. Like, and if you're not booming, then you got to do something because we know they're not going over the luxury. They're not going to sit there and go over it. So, and knowing that, like, okay, well, where are you clearing this? Like, who are you clearing out? Like, yes, to be honest, ideally, money wise, you'd say Zach, right? No matter what Zach does, like money wise, you'd say Zach. But again, nobody's taking that contract. Once you said you were trading for him, you traded for him knowing damn well he was going to see the end of that contract in your uniform. Like that's it. Like if, and I guess never say never because Luka got traded, but maybe some dumbass team will take him, take or not take him, but take his contract. But like who? Like I can't see it. But
like in the chat, this Planet X Nick, he was saying that it's you pay Keegan, allowing Keegan to leave would be a mistake. I agree, but short term, it's at least the next 2 years that we're going to have both DeMar and LaVine, and that's when Keegan's max money is going to come in. And like I said, I don't see Vivek dipping into that luxury tax. Yeah, you could sign your own players, but it still takes you into the tax, doesn't it?
yeah, he's not doing that. When has he ever done that?
And that's when you're gonna, and that's our point. Planet X Nick is that it's probably going to be DeMar that's going to be the odd man out if you're going to pay Keegan.
Just to continue on that, if we keep all of them and we allow us to keep Keegan, what does that do for his development over the next couple of years when he has DeMar and LaVine, and even Sabonis is going to take some of that development time because they all demand the ball for them to play. So what does Keegan look like in 2 years or so when that contract hits and we're stuck with him for 4 or 5 more years? Not that I'm saying Keegan's bad and that I don't want to have him on a team, but what is it going to look like 3 or 4 years with DeMar and LaVine and Sabonis taking that ball away from him and not allowing him to become what he could be?
That's a good point.
For me, it's right here. It's the consistency. Because we see like little glimpses of Keegan tonight, like where he has a really good game. And like I see he has the potential, but that consistency just hasn't been there. Definitely this season.
And that's why I wonder, like, the more we talk this out, it's like, well, Keon has basically become what we wanted Keegan to be at his most, not to say most potential, but like right now, if Keegan, too many K's, man. And I'm only going to do 2. I don't ever do 3. We don't do 3 on this show. So, Keegan.
Do I need to leave then?
No, bro. Okay. We won't go into that discussion. That's just part of the other discussion we talked about. But if Keon has become what we would at least hope that Keegan could be, like, so if at some point maybe it's, hey, this one's got to go because we got what we thought we were going to get from him out of Keon, and Keon becomes him basically. So I don't know. I understand 2 different positions too, but oh man, like, oh man, so I don't need. We won, bro.
I know we
did. Did we? Are we sure?
We won, bro.
Sure doesn't seem like it. And Keegan had a really good game.
Keegan played well too.
Christ, what are we doing? Jesus. This is typical King talk. Even if you're winning, it's still just you're just waiting for the ball to drop.
It's PTSD, dude.
It is. We've been hurt that bad.
You guys are worse than the toxic chat.
Well, we're not telling everybody to go to hell and calling people names. So I mean, there's that.
Chat was telling somebody to get the fuck out. So
stupid.
Yeah.
Katrina's like, well, why did we have us 4 come back? She had a great show last time. She was with all the ladies. They had a great show, and she comes to this miserable bunch over here.
Man, kudos to you, girl. You did a great job on the show, and you
did do a good job,
out, man. So great job hosting.
Whatever. All those dings are Tasha messaging D'Lo like, hey, when do we get ladies night? Like every week. These fools are.
She ain't lying. She ain't lying. Um, and hopefully Jill, we will have Jill on in a future episode as soon as she's fit. So I know a lot of people were looking forward to seeing her too, and unfortunately she was under the weather. So that'll be a
Yeah,
good
we're
one
definitely
coming
gonna
up
do
soon.
it again.
Huh?
We're definitely gonna do it again.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
You guys
At least
can
by
take the week off.
2027, at least.
Damn.
On a positive note,
What? No, we don't do positive here. No.
the things that we've been talking about, I mean, I do think that Keegan and Keon can both get better. And what that looks like, I don't know. I believe both of their games can get better. It's just going to be how Monty can construct the roster going forward. And hey, the last two games have been great. They beat the teams they're supposed to beat. If they can, hopefully they found their rhythm and they can get a couple of these tougher teams. I mean, like D'Lo said, give me that 7th or 8th spot so you can play that one game. If you play that one game and get in, then I mean, I think we're all a lot happier that next day. No matter what happens in that first round. So
Yeah. Okay, if they can just keep this momentum going, man. The last two games, like obviously you're not going to blow everybody out, but I think it's also more about doing what you're supposed to be doing and getting these guys comfortable with each other, running their sets, and hopefully, I mean, again, like blew up two teams, and your main guy Sabonis hasn't played at a fraction of what he was playing at, and you're still blowing out. So that's a good sign in itself. I do think once you get against the Houstons of the world, the OKCs of the world, like I think you do see him being a little bit more aggressive. I know it's not in his nature to be ultra aggressive, but I do think he will be a little bit more aggressive, knowing there's a little bit more urgency against those type of teams. So we'll see if that's what comes to fruition. But I do believe he will.
Houston's next, right?
Is it Houston next? It is. When is that?
That is
Friday
the 1st.
Yeah.
No, wait.
Saturday
the 1st.
Saturday the 1st. Okay. Cool.
I think they could get Houston.
I do too.
I think so.
I don't think Houston's some unbeatable team.
No.
I mean, what are they, 3rd right now? Are they 3rd seed?
They are 5th in the West.
Oh, 5th. Oh.
Yeah,
But
and
they usually play pretty well against OKC. Can't remember what happened last game, but I know last year they played them pretty well. That was with Fox too, though. Fox was that one equalizer that we had that the other team couldn't guard.
Speaking of Fox, can we jump
public
ahead?
enemy number one.
Can we jump ahead to the game against the Spurs next Friday?
We're not saying that for next week?
Oh, no. We can start talking about that now.
Okay.
Everybody else does. That's all I see. Every day, everybody's posting his stat lines and like, bro, stop, man.
The Spurs are 3-7 since trading for him. That's all I care about. They're 3-7 since he's been on the team.
That's what you care about, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
That's all I care about.
I hope the Kings beat their ass.
I honestly think by Thursday, they'll announce him going to have surgery and he won't even play.
I think you might be right.
That's my line. That's my line. I've been thinking that the whole time.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Tasha. Sorry, you're the only one thinking it. My bad.
They're gonna sit Fox and win the lottery. Everybody's been saying it. You know it's coming.
Oh yeah.
That'd be what, their 4th number 1 draft pick?
It's either them or Cleveland that gets it every year.
Good Lord.
It's crazy. I honestly don't even know why he's playing now. We all know that. I mean, I'm not saying he's ever been lights out shooter, but we know his hands hurt. I don't understand. Once Wemby went down, what was the point, man?
Yeah.
That's
why I'm waiting anytime for that announcement. And then when they showed at Golden One the announcement for the game and they showed De'Aaron's picture and he got booed, if he caught wind of that, it's a wrap.
I think Manny said it before. I can't remember. I mean, probably a bunch of people have said it, but man,
it's just me.
That's the one thing that kind of pisses me off when people talk bad about De'Aaron Fox, saying that he quit, on the Kings. Then it's like, dude had a broken ass hand played every single game. Now you could say maybe he didn't give the effort. I don't know. You could question whatever, but that dude played with a damn broken ass hand and came. He was ready to play every game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. I don't get that argument.
Bro, he had how many years was it before? How many years was he with Sacramento before being Team 1 year? So before that
6 or
epic
7,
run,
right?
6, right?
6.
So 6 years of futility. You never heard a peep out of dude. Just played, did what he was supposed to. They gave him nothing. They had Beam Team year, and then obviously last year, and then this year, like, so now all of a sudden he doesn't try, like, and not only that, but in reality, the whole ultra aggressive thing, like, so how come y'all don't talk about Keegan like that? It's the same thing. It's the same personalities, to be honest, which is probably why they were kinship, because they both basically, if you think about it, they're very similar in their personalities of like chill. They're not ultra aggressive. You kind of got to push them on the court. Like you got to get Fox mad right before he kind of like does his thing. So what's the difference? It isn't. But because he's the face of the organization, the one that's going to get 350 million or whatever, like now it's his fault that you're not winning, or it's his fault that he didn't come out aggressive in the first quarter when they went down 10 or whatever the case may be. But it's the same thing, man. It's just people coming up with reasons. Like I almost feel like people at this point, like, yes, I understand Fox saying the things that he's been saying rub people the wrong way. I get all that. But no matter what he would say, people are going to find a reason to she's been saying that for like 2 weeks. That's fine. I'm with Jesse. You can feel however you want. Like I personally think it's ridiculous for anybody to dislike the dude for everything that he's done on and off the court, especially off the court. But hey, man, like if you need a reason, sure, give Monty a pass. Give the organization a pass. He told you what not to do. You went and did it. He gave you the ultimatum after that. Like, but that's how I look at it. Like, bro, he literally told you, if you fire this coach, I don't want to be here anymore. He told you that ahead of time. You did it.
Right.
Did you think he was going to be like, psych? Like, bro, he told you. You basically told him in doing that, I call your bluff. Cool. You called my bluff. All right, well, I'm out. How about that? Like, why is that his fault? Like, all right, man.
That being said, if he does play, I hope he's 1 for 10 and
absolutely
their ass by 40 points.
Absolutely. It's Kings or nothing for sure. I just don't have any vitriol for the dude, man. Like it's like, bro, thank you for your service. Like, cool, man. Like
what percentage of the arena is gonna boo him, do you think?
I think there are gonna be some and they're gonna be audible. I think we're gonna hear it.
Trina?
What about how many people are going to boo for him?
I don't need an exact number, but yes. What do you think?
Here, let me pull up my stats. I don't.
Come on,
I think a lot. I think a lot. I mean, when it first happened and he was traded, I was sad. Like the dude grew up here, But for me, it turned when he started talking, when he got on social media. That unfollowing Domas and I didn't want to see it. That whole thing, just stop.
I get it.
No,
I get it. I also think it also took you into like we all kind of always assume everything's kumbaya because you never hear anything.
Right.
But then you start looking at stuff like that and then you think about it and you think about like, when did you ever really see them talking other than on the court? Like you never really saw interactions, like hanging out, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it kind of pieces itself together to like, it's a job. Like,
right.
Yeah. I don't follow all my coworkers.
Like why does he have to close Tomas? Yeah. Okay, but like to make it so apparent that he unfollowed him, and to say
because somebody's going to see somebody's sister literally daily waiting Like I just imagine like the Matrix. They got like 30 TVs. Oh, he just unfollowed him. I saw it. I'm number 46.
How do you
Like,
do that so people don't know? There's not a way to do that though.
yeah, there is.
What? Just
It's
don't
like
do it?
Damien said. You don't necessarily. What is it called? You can. You don't unfollow them. There's something else you can do that
Block.
doesn't like.
Mute them?
Yeah, mute them. Just mute them.
And
Yeah.
not every platform has the ability of muting though.
Hmm.
I'm just telling you what the kids told me. I don't know.
I just think it's stupid that, I mean, like you said, we're not all going to follow our coworkers. Just the ones that we really want to keep in touch. Doesn't mean doesn't mean he hated him. It's just like we were just cool.
What about the Beam commercial? They were so friendly in that commercial, man.
Yeah. The greatest acting ever.
He took his socks, all right? He was mad.
Purple laser beam.
I still want to print out my prize picks from that night and have him sign F your parlay and have him tell me to my face. Yep.
I want to see the original first take of that commercial where Domas actually shoveled Fox into the coal, like knocked him, hit him with the shovel in the back of the head, and then scooped him up.
You know,
in
there's
there.
outtake. There's behind the scenes outtakes you haven't seen.
Like,
They never really filmed it in the same room together. They just spliced
It
it.
was green screen.
Like yeah, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
It was a deep fake.
Yep.
But yeah, like I said, like yeah, it's just he knows what he's doing basically. Like once you hit that click, you know what's going to happen. When you answer the questions about the Spurs organization and the way that you worded it, you know what's going to happen. Like you get it. It's almost like you're trying to be the heel. Like it's a WWE script that you're literally trying to be. The Rock just took your soul. You just agreed to let him take your soul, and here you are, man.
Damn.
Here you are.
Damn.
Just sucking your soul out, bro. Just sucking your soul out.
Jesus.
Well, I'll say this though: if they get this game against Houston, I mean, I will feel a lot better. No. Every single time I talk, somebody does something in the chat. What did you see, Kyron?
I think you just imagined it getting his soul sucked out.
All right.
No, it's only Wednesday.
The best was
That's the
Charlie.
weekend.
The clip of Charlie talking about Eddie.
Oh, Jesus.
I posted that to Eddie. I sent it to Eddie. He's like, "Yo."
Yeah, I
Who's this
messaged
Charlie
Eddie,
dude?
and he was dying.
Zabo.
What happened?
Zabo.
Oh, man.
Oh, and then Kenny's reaction.
That's
Charlie
the
puts
best.
his hand on Kenny. Oh, so good.
That's the best. That is the best. And Charlie's none the wiser. Guarantee you, he really doesn't get it at all. Like, no.
No.
I wonder. I want the outtakes of that.
Charlie?
I need the outtakes of the Day with Odyssey. I need the outtakes where they explain to Charlie what just happened.
Yeah.
And he still doesn't get it.
Cameras like Big Brother just following him around.
We need to get Charlie on.
That would be actually that's a good one.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I don't know.
I'll work
I don't
on
know if he
that.
has Dame's bedtime though or not.
I mean, I have to do a early edition.
Anyway, what I was saying
Anyways,
What were you saying, sir?
is that if they do get Houston, man, I'm gonna feel a whole lot better about this team though. Because I mean that's a tough game. It's a game they can win, but I mean if they win that game, I mean I think making a run at that 7-8 seed spot. I mean I think we have a good chance of that. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is optimism there, right? I mean, there is like I think it's more about us grounding ourselves to obviously again like expecting the worst, but I do think we do see there is a possible light at the end of the tunnel. There is a lot of there's a lot of talent on this team. This team is more than capable of being better than what they have been. It's just about being consistent. That's it. I think that's the word of the day. Everybody say consistent. Can you say it, boys and girls? Consistent.
So the next 5 we have are Houston, Dallas, Denver, San Antonio, and the Clippers. You think we can go 4-1 in that stretch? Maybe get that one in Denver.
I think that's the one they lose.
You think so?
Yeah, I was gonna say the Clippers might be the swing game.
I just think like the Clippers is going to be the harder game because both of them are playing for that position. They're trying to get that spot.
For me, 3-2 is a success.
Yeah.
Give me 3-2 and I'm good. And don't get blown out those two. Like 3-2, you're in games. Things didn't go your way, fine. But 3-2, and I'm happy with that. Anything better than that, I'm ecstatic.
Who knows?
What poll say?
Maybe they go on a run.
Whatever. Matt George Jr. be killing me.
You'll get lost.
I think he's mad because Matt still won't admit that he's his real dad. But that's beside the point.
Well,
3-2. 3-2.
I mean,
give prediction. Give me a 5-game prediction then. You got to pick a number.
I'm gonna go 3-2, but I just feel like there's something with that Denver game that we can maybe sneak that one in and get that win. I don't know why. I agree with Zabel that we don't beat the Clippers for some reason, but that Denver game it just seems like it's a gettable game for some reason.
To me, it hinges on this Houston game. If the Kings beat Houston, I think they could go 3-2 or 4-1. I think if they start off losing that Houston game, best is 3-2, but I think they go 2-3.
Ooh.
She didn't like that.
I was going the other way. I was like, I'm going to steal your answer. Yeah, I think if they lose against Houston, they're going 3-2. But if they win against Houston, they're going 4-1.
I'll take it. I'll definitely take that 4-1 for sure.
Okay.
I think if they go 4-1, I do think after that fight, we're going to be sitting here talking about play. I know us. We're just going to be like, yeah, I said, man, I can see the connection. It's happening, man. It's happening. I think we're just being, and that's fine, man. That's part of being a fan.
That's better than what it was. Positivity.
They go 4-1. We're getting the 6th seed.
Let's go.
Look, man, I get everybody. David Sabonis always says this, like when there's never get too high, never get too low. It is hard for me personally when you're beating a Charlotte and who the hell did they play today again?
Utah.
Charlotte and Utah. There's nothing memorable about Utah. The state, the team, anything in it. It's just hard for me to get, like, even if it's a 30-point blowout, still for me playing some of the 2 worst teams in the league, like, cool, all right, man. Like, I'm glad you did what you were supposed to do, but I can't. I'm not. You could have won by 60, and I'd have been like, all right, cool, man. You beat a horrible team. Great. Like,
right.
Because I'm not going to allow you to get me to that point, and then you go in Houston and, like, just shit the bed. You know what I'm saying? So, like, no, man. Like, let's see what you do Saturday. You win that game, man, I'm all in, bro. Let's go. I'm back in again.
Yeah.
I'm back in.
Yep.
Me too.
See,
Don't lose by 20.
That right there. That right there.
And that's good.
And can I put this on my prize picks?
There you go. I'm with that
Like
one.
that.
I'm with that one right there. So
I'm still liking that. Valanciunas had a really good game.
To me, that's the move that I love the most. Like Zach too, don't get me wrong, but just behind the scenes, like that's the move they should have made 2 years ago. Getting him, really, in reality. But great backup, does the dirty work, does not imposes himself. I think he did one last game, Charlotte, where I think he got tangled up with somebody. He basically just shoved off of him, like, bro.
That's one of them dudes you don't mess with too.
Yeah, everybody needs a person like that. You need that grunt, man, like that. Everybody needs one of those on the team, man. It's exactly what we asked for. Somebody that won't take no crap. Right? Yeah, man. Like, He's Sabonis with an attitude, really, to be honest. Like that's the same bruising game, but with more of an attitude. So
When they started slow today, they started going into the paint with Valanciunas, and man, he bullied them dudes down low. Yeah, I think he scored 6 points in that quarter, and man, he was just bruising down there.
So. Yeah, like Brian Cruz said, give that man his flowers, man. He's brought a toughness to this team that was very much needed. Very much needed. So great move, like front office, thanks, man. Thanks for getting 1 out of 20 moves right. Me personally,
I need him to throw Shivano like he did Metu. I said it like Mitch. Metu.
Me too.
I said me too.
Hey, was Trey Lyles injured?
Yeah, I didn't see him play today.
Yeah, he had a DNP CD.
Damn. Okay.
It kind of moved on from him slowly.
It's since we got Valanciunas, it seems like they've been using Trey less and less. Now
they've been playing Laravia too,
which is weird too, because last game Trey came in and gave them a lift when they needed it in that third quarter.
Right.
And it was like, bro, so.
And you think with Trey's outside shooting, he'd fit pretty well with Valanciunas. So
I do think that. I'm surprised that they've gone away from him as much as they have. Because I feel like in general throughout this year, even though he started off because he was injured at first, he started off slow. But once he got his footing, there were numerous games that he kind of gave them that little boost before they would like get their wins or whatever. And it's like, I didn't see anything before he started getting DMPs that made me think, oh, he's horrible or he's unplayable. Like he was up and down a little bit, but for the most part, I thought he was pretty consistent. Like did what they expected him to do, came in, got a couple good minutes in, and called it a day. So I'm surprised Doug has gone that direction, but maybe it's something in practice. I don't know, stuff that we don't see, or maybe he is kind of got dinged up or something, and he's just, trying to get him right. I don't know.
Well, he's another one too. Oh, go ahead, Trina.
Sorry. Trey only entered the game when Keon was injured.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the other day?
Yeah. I think he had a DNP CD on Monday night as well, but then he entered the game as soon as.
Yeah, second half. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You are right.
That's wild.
That is kind of wild. Huh. D'Lo and Casey, how come you guys haven't talked about this? All right. Just trying to give
we gave them another topic, right?
We gave them another topic. We're like 11:40. Or you could be 11. They could be 11:40 in this one.
Don't say that.
All of a sudden, just start talking.
No.
Yeah, no?
No.
No.
Okay.
All right. Nope.
It's a weird show tonight, dude.
It was.
This is what happens when we're not on together for 2 weeks.
Negative, positive, negative, positive.
It's just like the Kings.
I was at the humidor.
We're taking on the personality of the Kings.
I was like, I left Sky River for this. I was at the humidor for ladies' night.
Damn.
Yeah. I could have just got on live from my phone.
She didn't see Michigan there playing background and everything. We ruined her vibe.
Sorry. All right. Hey, when are we going to get like a live show where the four of us in the same room type of thing? We should do that.
Working on that. Working on that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kill the vibe. I'm sorry.
Well, it was supposed to be a surprise, but it's okay.
Okay, my bad.
No, I'm just mad. No, we originally were trying to do all.
Everybody look at the flashy thing.
The original thought was All-Star Weekend and doing that Sunday, which would have been really hard though. But it's also okay. What's that?
That's my favorite pair of shoes.
Which ones are they? They're kind of glared, so okay.
You can make her larger. Can you make her larger so we can see it?
We could just bring them up. There you go.
Bring them out. Bring them out.
I think I've seen you wear those before.
No, I have never worn these before. No.
I thought I saw you in those. Okay.
Oh, those are the knockoffs. StockX.
Timo?
The Jordan on there has a butt crack. You ever see those StockX fails?
Oh yeah,
Like the Jordan has like ass cheeks and like the ball's in the other hand. Like
I bought one pair from there. The
No.
Fruity Pebble ones, the LeBron Fruity
Uh,
Pebble ones. Never again. Those are clean. Yeah, those are
Right?
clean. Yeah, those are clean.
I should have showed my son's background, and he has all kind. I mean, this dude has some like really really good basketball shoes, and it's like, man, where are you? You know, he don't have no money, so I'm paying for it. But it's like,
Yeah.
man, kid has a sneakerhead with no budget, but he still manages to get them.
He knows.
I believe it. I believe it.
Starts telling his grandparents and begging. But yeah, no, he has some nice basketball shoes. He has some Grinches. He has Kobe 8s. He's got some Foxes.
It's a good dad right there. It's a poor dad, but it's a good dad.
Hey, he wears them. He had a good season this season, so
That's dope. That's dope, man. So King's good? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, they
So
won.
before we do go, real
are we
quick.
winning in championship?
Yeah, this year for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Diana Taurasi, any thoughts?
legend.
It's
Yeah.
pretty big. Pretty big news.
She like I mean, she's pretty much been synonymous with the college and pro game for what? How long has she been in the WNBA now? How many seasons was it?
20-some?
Damn near 20, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
but
20 years.
you know, I mean, I remember, you know, those UConn teams. You know, a lot of the times, well, almost, you know, in all cases, the women would stay in college for them 4 years, so you know you would get to know them a little bit better because at that time a lot of the men were one and done, going straight to the NBA. But man, Diana Taurasi, I mean, I remember you would see her games on Saturday all the time. You know, those
Mhm.
UConn teams, and again, her name was synonymous with college. You know, the college women's game. It's like, man, congrats to her. She's one of the best.
And she's definitely one of those players that helped legitimize the WNBA, where a lot of people at that time were just still bad mouthing it, putting it down for the quality. But she go out there and play just as good as any male player, and you know the game's gonna miss her, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
She was an assassin.
Yeah,
That's what I remember the most about her. She was an absolute assassin on the court, and you couldn't tell her nothing. And she was like Jordan on the whole. You piss her off, and she would just take it to this other level of like, not only like kill you, but like be petty about it, like
trash
so
talk.
petty about it. And I love that. That's that competitiveness, that fire. Like literally, like she told. What did you guys hear that story she told with the Olympics where they were all sitting around? God, what was it? They just told the story today or yesterday. It was like all the WNBA and NBA players were sitting around chopping it up, and Draymond was talking hellish shit, right? And I
Always
forgot
I know what you're talking
what
about.
she said. I can't remember exactly what did she
She
say.
said, "Man, isn't it great that you're the only player that never gets double teamed?"
Yeah.
Something like
Like,
that.
bro, I know he got. So I know he wanted to stomp her. I don't care what he says. Knowing him, he'd have stomped her. But that's the best, man. But that literally that story is Diana in a nutshell. Like her competitiveness, her fire, and she feared not she didn't fear no woman. She feared no person
body.
whatsoever. So like, yeah, man, kudos to her. She had 6 gold medals, which is unheard of. So she's won on every single level. Uh, Definitely, I'm with D'Lo. Just obviously you can have arguments, but for me, best that ever played the game. And again, I understand there's arguments for that. That's fine. Uh, but yeah, she's on the Mount Rushmore for sure. She's definitely on that Mount Rushmore of
Oh
WNBA
yeah.
grades.
Yeah,
And I'd even take it a step further, like what just the WNBA, just in general. Like she's on a Mount Rushmore of great basketball players ever. So kudos to her. Great career, like you said, phenomenal. Uh, I am curious to see what she does next if she does want to do something. Whether it's I can't see her coaching, like I can't see that. Like it's like I can't see her not want to try to choke somebody out that doesn't play as.
She
It's
wants
the
to fight.
problem when you have somebody that high like Mike, like the way Mike was too. Like anybody that doesn't play up to the level they think is a complete failure. So that's a hard thing to transition to. But excited to see what she does next, man. See if she has anything else she wants to do, or if she just goes off into the sunset. Either way, she's earned the right to do whatever. So,
Is she still doing that like Manning cast thing?
oh, with Sue Bird,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. They were hilarious together. So I thought that was great. So again, man, thank you for helping bring in awareness to the WNBA, especially like you guys said, when in a time that it was always getting criticized as not good enough and not worth watching, whatever. So she's left it in good hands. She's left it at a great place and in good hands, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons I think that she decided to retire too. So kudos to her.
You think there's anybody? Not, I mean, there's nobody going to be like her, but do you think anybody takes that kind of that role, that outspoken role, that just kind of embody what she did? Do you think there's a player right now that
like everything? Or are you talking about playing wise, or just all encompassing?
I mean, just all encompassing. Like I mean, for example, like Aja, she's the best player in the league, but she's not that. You know what I'm saying? Like she doesn't have that personality like Diana did. I'm just saying like a character like her. You know, I mean, she was obviously a baller, but I'm just saying like, do you think there's anybody who's that leader for the league? Because I think that's what Diana was too. She was the leader of the league.
Even though she hasn't grown into it yet, and I'm not sure whether she will or won't, I do think Angel Reese, to an extent, has the ability to be that. She's definitely outspoken. She definitely doesn't shy away from anybody. Obviously, she's still at the beginning, and the way the money works right now, I'm not sure how long she has in her head to stay in the league with all the money she makes outside of it, right? But I think if there was one person that has that, maybe the personality and if the ability catches up to the personality, which she's phenomenal regardless, but really catches up where all facets of her game, I do think she can be that person. Nobody else? Katrina?
Nobody. I mean, I could see that.
God damn it. This is a hell of a show, let me tell you. Hell of a show.
Katrina said the hell with you guys. Our negativity brought her down.
She's about to go back to humidor. She's like, I gotta go, bro.
Yeah, I need my cigar.
Yeah. Live from the humidor.
Maybe next Wednesday.
Maybe.
I wonder if some of the up and coming players too, though. Like, I mean, the league. There was an influx of just really good players. It's too bad that Cameron Brink got hurt because she was on her way to having a really good season too. I mean, playing wise, that just assassin Caitlin Clark is still. I mean, she'll rip your heart out. With her shooting ability. I wonder if somebody like Paige coming up too next year. Juju. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's my overall point. The league lost a leader, and a character, and just an overall good ball player. It's hard to replace somebody like that.
And that's 2 years in a row because Sue Bird too.
Yeah.
So, but they left it. I think they did leave it in good hands, and I think it might be somebody we're not even thinking about. It might, we're gonna see how. Last year was kind of like as great as the league was last year, they weren't prepared for it, right? Like they weren't prepared for the way, and you could tell commissioner made a lot of mistakes. I think they just weren't prepared in the grand scheme of things for it to blow up the way it did. And I think now you have a year under your belt. It's going to be an interesting year, not just for the players, but for the league too. So I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see who steps up and who's blossomed and who gets better and who continues to shine. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the league. So we shall see. All right, man. We're going to get this together next week, man. We're going to get together. We're going to huddle. We're going to talk. We're going to kumbaya. We're going to Kings. How many games until next Wednesday? It's Houston Saturday. Houston's the next game? actual next game?
Houston's next.
Yeah. Next.
Houston, and then who else after that?
After Houston, we got the Nuggets. No, sorry, the Mavericks.
Okay,
Then the Nuggets.
but I'm saying like up until next Wednesday. How many games?
I think it's 2.
Up
That's
until next
it?
Wednesday. Rockets, Mavericks, and Nuggets is next Wednesday.
Oh, 3. I mean, 3.
Saturday, Monday,
Okay.
Wednesday.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we win all 3 there, right? We dancing a jig and the greatest team on earth, and 72-0 next year, 72-10 next year. We're great. All that.
We'll be
Okay.
positive then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
We
we're
go
gonna find
2-1.
something to be negative.
If we go 2-1 and those 3, hey man, you ain't gonna hear not one damn bad thing from me at all. At all. At all. At all. So, all right.
Sure,
Let's just get on out of here. I think Katrina's ready. I don't know what she's been sipping on, Hypnotic and whatever else she's been drinking over there.
Hypnotic.
Is that what were you drinking, Katrina?
No, it was Blue Hawaiian. Blue Hawaiian on the rocks.
Oh, I haven't seen one of those in a while. I haven't seen that in a while. I literally thought that was
I don't know if you saw my little mishap with the wine opener last week.
Did you guys see that?
Did you see
I didn't
that?
see you do that.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta see that. That is, I don't know how you didn't end up in the hospital, but yeah.
I got skills. That's all.
You
I'll
do
say.
have skills, absolutely. All right, y'all. Again, we'll get it together. It's been a couple weeks, so we like the beam tonight, right? We like the beam again. Thankfully, see what we got next week. So until next week, see y'all later.
Later.
Chatty House. We ballin', boy. We going up at the Chatty House. We talk about it all, bring the family out. Sub to the channel, hit the likes now. And we only going up when the lights down. Yeah, we just getting started. Ain't no party like a Chatty House party. We just getting started. Ain't no party like a Chatty House party.